good. I'm good.
Uh,
How are you?
I'm fine. In these circumstances where we all sort of have to deal with life as it is now. I mean, yeah, trying, surviving, keeping my sense of humor, which is very important to me. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's strange times, and we all try to make something out of it.
And is this something that you have experienced before in your life? This kind of quiet?
I wouldn't even say quiet, because quiet I can find in nature. I can find everywhere. I can find while meditating. You can find quietness, but this is isolation, and this is different because, I'm a big hugger, so I'd like to touch my children, hug my family. So
Yeah.
it's also these things that are sort of like have another dimension. I want to express my love to the ones that are dearest to me.
Is that something you miss, this kind of sense of community or the sense of...
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because my children, my mother, my family, my friends, I mean, we're all part of families or communities, and we need people. We're not solitary individuals. But with these times of Corona or COVID, you have to reinvent yourself, how to stay close to each other, how to keep connected, how to keep feeling the love.
And how do you do that? Do you have...
Yeah, by, for instance, Skyping, like with you, or sending
Yeah.
nice messages, or phoning, or things like that. I mean, it's modern social media, of course, that is very helpful. I mean, if this would happen in the Middle Ages or other times, I mean, social media can be a blessing. It is right now this way. I mean, in another way, it's not, because you keep hearing all these terrible things about COVID, and it makes you so afraid. So you got to dose it a little, to stay healthy mentally, because that's a new thing. We have to stay healthy mentally as well. How do we stay mentally? Healthy mentally. This is the big question, I think, the big test.
And do you have tips? Like
Oh,
how how do I stay healthy
well,
mentally?
yeah, well, I talked before, like we talked about art. I mean, I think for me it's very important to keep connected to art in any way I can. There is this emptiness, and you need to fulfill it with positive things, and because the social and the emotional impact is enormous. We're all afraid, we all feel this sense of belonging. We need to belong, and now we're sort of like cut off. Everybody's cut off.
Is there also some like a habit or a skill that you developed that you started doing in this quarantine yourself? A way of expressing?
I'm starting hobbies. I'm painting again, very, very realistic
Yes.
paintings, because that makes me sort of like, I get in another state. I like doing things with my hands. It's sort of, yeah, I don't know. I already had this as a child, so I'm very curious always, and always want to know how things work, and yeah, so things like
Is there
that.
a
So,
painting you could show us?
oh, well, if you have 1 second, because I'm doing a portrait of a little girl, and oh my God, why did I pick a little girl? Because to paint children, that's very very difficult. Rather have an
Uh-huh.
old person, so you can really sort. I have to. 1 second. Oh, do you see it? Oh, well, well,
Hold
yeah.
on, hold on.
This, can you see? I don't know. So I'm working on this portrait of a little girl, and
Oh, it's really
yeah,
good.
um, and other portraits. So I'm doing all these things that sort of never are my core business, but I really like to do.
Who
That's
is the girl in the painting? Is she someone in your mind, or did you...
no, it's a little girl. So she's already 16 now. But I had this little picture of her, and there's this look in her eyes, like she's discovering the world. She's about to enter this great adventure called life. So I wanted to capture that moment in her. I saw that in her face. Nothing special, but it's like what I liked so much about the look on her
Incredible.
face.
Can I see it one more time?
Yeah. I don't know where if it's
Gorgeous.
if It's not finished yet, so I've got a lot of work to do. I'm going to paint all flowers around her and some nature.
How do you feel about having time to actually do these things?
I don't think it's something that you think much about. It's just a question of doing, you know. You can think a lot about things because the first step is the most important. So you take out your brushes and your paint, you do your thing, you know.
You want to see what I did?
Yeah,
I
show
did.
me.
I did this hut.
Wow. Oh, that looks so nice. It's like a cocoon.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
from a willow tree, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like if we weren't in quarantine, I would have never built a hut.
You see,
Like
you just
it's a very
start
new.
doing things. Don't think too much about it. You just, the first step is the most important one. Don't think if it's too difficult. Just try, and you might experience something that will, like a little child, like if you go to kindergarten and you get your first clay and you start working with the clay, be like a little child. Start from scratch. Let the world wonder you, or let things that you never did before. Make them a play field, like you were a little kid. I think, and the
Yeah,
result is not important. So don't think about the results. Just start.
I like
Go
and
back to when you were like 4 years old.
yeah, yeah, maybe that would be. I mean, I guess uh, of course we're coming from a very privileged position to be
Exactly.
able to
Yeah.
to have the freedom to research your 4-year-old, your
Or
inner
maybe
4-year-old.
or maybe you can sing, or you start, or you rent an instrument, or play the bass guitar, or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
not good for your neighbors. Something you never did before.
And do you have any idea how maybe the fashion industry can, when things would start up again, when the world
Yeah.
comes back again, do you think there's any lesson that we can take from this time?
Well, of course, because also fashion is also a reflection of society. We will see in fashion, we will see this virus or this epidemic, or what do you call it? I don't know. It will resound, and fashion is part of dreaming, and we need to dream. So the dream machine will continue. Like we need fashion because we need to dream.
And is there in your daily routine, do you still did it change the way you dress being
Maybe a
inside?
little easier because I have a shirt, I have my Birkenstocks on. So, I mean, yeah, I will not go with my high heels. I was have some fun with fashion. And it's, it's not rocket science. But taking care of yourself is a very important ritual. And if you put on your beautiful sweater from whatever designer, it makes you feel good and happy, you know, just do it.
I like
Even
that.
with the
You're
beer,
advising this.
even with the Birkenstocks. Who
Yeah.
cares? Yeah, trying to stay positive. Sometimes I have a, but it's also part of life.
Your whole look at life is basically to use it as an opportunity to find what you like to do and sort of
Yeah,
discover new
yeah.
talents and work on those.
Become this child again of 4 or 5 and start. Don't think about,
Yeah,
oh, but I need this or I'm not good. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Stay here. Find a little inner child and wonder about everything. There's a promise out there. I hope
yeah.
there's a promise for everybody out
Okay, Linda. Thank
there.
you so much. Have a
Marte,
good day, and
take
let
care,
us
girl.
show us the
Stay
painting
safe.
when it's finished. What?
Take care, stay safe, and stay as beautiful as you are.
Likewise.
Bye bye, dear.
Ah.
Bye.